This week, Fishing the West with host Larry Shoenborne takes you to Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park and to the scenic Snake River, directly north of the city of Jackson. Encompassing more than 326,000 acres and part of the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, Grand Teton National Park presents one of the nation's most pristine natural areas. Along with over 200 miles of backpacking trails here, a float trip on the Snake River offers rafters and fishermen alike an exquisite perspective of the backcountry. Additionally, abundant populations of native cutthroat trout provide fly anglers excellent action on fish in the 10 to 20 inch category. We'll be fishing today with America's most well-known sportsman, Curt Gowdy. Our guest will be fly fishing author and outfitter Jack Dennis. We'll be drifting the Snake River today, recreating an American Sportsman episode that Curt and Jack participated in over 20 years ago. We'll be fly fishing for the river's native cutthroat using a variety of wet and dry patterns with lightweight leaders. And although much has changed since their original drift trip here, a well-presented fly still brings excellent action. We'll be right back.
Curt, I know you were raised in Wyoming. Were you born here?
I was born in Green River, Larry, and then when I was 6, my dad worked for the Union Pacific Railroad, transferred to Cheyenne, and I had as great a boyhood as a kid could ever have. There was only 200,000 people in the state then. And my dad was a great fly fisherman and started me fly fishing when I was about 8 years old. What do you think the limit in those days was for trout?
Oh, gosh.
Huh?
10, 12?
20 a day.
Oh, no kidding.
Was a limit, and that's how good the fishing was. We should have known better in those days to really start saving, and nobody stocked a hatchery fish in the Wyoming waters till the late 1950s. But boy, just imagine growing up in this state, pure clean air, clean waters. My dad used to drive into a ranch, and if there's one car there, especially a Colorado car, he hated them, we'd leave. It was overcrowded. He'd have 5 miles. He wanted 5 miles of river to himself.
Try to your left. Throw one to your left down in the main part of the river.
All right.
We usually got it. So I was lucky.
Jack, you've been here all your life, Wyoming?
Oh, yeah. Born and raised in Jackson Hole. Started out guiding when I was 13, taking people to beaver ponds. And they'd give me a $20 bill to show them where the secret beaver pond places were.
Well, I saw the show you guided Curt on the American Sportsmen.
Oh, yeah.
That was really a
20 years
nice
ago,
show.
wasn't it, Jack?
Oh, yes, 20 years ago.
He was just a young entrepreneur. He not only was a good guide and boat handler, but he had 3 or 4 other guys working for him. Just a kid.
Okay.
All right, Larry.
I've got so much line out. Here, I'm going to have to strip this guy in.
Yeah, that's a little better fish.
Yeah, it is. They're fighting pretty well.
Yeah, there we go. We'll even put the net on this one, Larry.
I put a little lighter leader on, too, Jack.
Hey, here we go. Look at this, Curt.
Good combination.
Look at this.
That's about 12-inch cut.
Hey, you might go a little better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably go 13.
A little longer.
We'll pull on him.
Uh-oh. He took
We'll
it
pull
well.
on him and stretch him out. Oh, he's right on the corner of the mouth. Look at that, Curt.
Huh?
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
That's right. Now this fish will be a big fish. He's got the right markings and the right size.
Good shape.
Yeah.
If I come out of him,
here
all
we
right?
go. We'll see you next year.
Which side you gonna work?
Left side. Left side, my man.
Left side. On the left bank.
On the left bank.
Like in Gay Paris.
Oh, leave it. That's
There we go.
okay. All right. It's about
That
time.
was a good one, Curt.
A bigger fish.
Is he?
Yeah,
The old yuck comes through.
I haven't seen him yet.
I can see him swimming down. We might have to chase that bugger. He's,
At least you got him on a bigger hook. There we go. Here, I'm going to move in there just a little bit more, Mr. Gowdy.
Oh,
Good show.
hang on.
Get him in here.
He's
Well, we'll
still,
find out whether you float in the cream waves.
still making that old reel thing, isn't he?
yes.
Huh? All right, Dennis, get ready. Let me try and get him up for you.
Good shot.
There you go.
Hey, there we go. Now, that's a little bit better fish.
You bet.
Where did I hook him?
In the mouth.
In the mouth. I know that, but on the side or?
And that right in the same
You see,
Gowdy way.
Jack,
Right in the corner.
there's a certain technique.
See the yellow?
Yeah. I
Did you
saw
see
him,
the
you bet.
yellow?
You bet. That's
I saw the yellows that went down the river.
The yellow?
Listen, you're great with this boat, but as a netter, you're not much, I have to tell you something.
It's a release of the dinner I did fine on.
I don't even know why you're bringing that along. It's practically useless in your hands. Huh? Get in the boat. We got a long ways to go. I'll forgive you. You're welcome back in.
We'll return to Wyoming Snake River for more August cutthroat fishing after this.
You know, the biggest fish on the Snake River have been taken on dry flies. People always say, oh, you catch bigger fish on wets. But not necessarily. We work this grass bank off.
It's fun just to have him come up for these
Oh,
dry.
yeah. And the hardest thing about fishing out of a boat is line control. You don't have to cast very far, but you got to have your line always under control.
Yeah.
And the big mistake when they're fishing a wet fly with the first-time angler, they hit the bank, and then they don't do anything. And that split, 2 or 3 seconds while that fly is just kind of drifting is when the fish will usually hit it. Oh, I got one. There we go. Snake River cut.
Oh, great. I got so much line out here. I don't know if I can get him on my reel or not.
Well, these little ones we let you handle very
right.
gently. That fish will go back in the water to get bigger.
Oh, come on, guy.
There we go. The bigger ones we save for the net.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Now I can keep holding this here. Problem is you start netting the fish and then we lose our holding.
Yeah. Pretty cuts on them.
All these fish are native in here, Larry.
They don't do any planting?
Nope. This is a native fishery. There are a few brown trout that have wandered down from Jackson Lake. And occasionally you'll catch a rainbow. They were planted in one of the rivers back in the 20s. But most everything's either a cutthroat or we have our native Rocky Mountain whitefish. Okay, hit that bank. That's the name
that
of the
looks like a good
song
drift.
on the Snake River is Hit That Bank.
I'll be darned.
Hit that
They-
bank.
Like
Hit
cows,
that
they
log.
feed on the grass out there.
That's right. There we go. There he is.
Oh, ho, good going.
On a 2-8, they all seem big.
Now he's into the boat.
Nah, he's all right. We'll get in here and drop Mr. Anchor and get out Mr. Net.
Mr. Cutthroat has something to say about that. Well, look at him go, Larry.
They're feisty, aren't they?
Yeah. See if I can get him over in that shallow water. Whoa. They are feisty.
Even the ones I've
Looks
caught,
like
I
about a
haven't caught
small
any
incher.
that size to really fight well.
Look at that bend in that little rod, Larry.
Right. You throw that real nice, Curt. Those two weights are a little hard to cast.
Yeah, well, to get a little wind. That wind's died down now, but you can sure feel everything. Ah, here he comes. Here he comes. Come on, baby. That's it. Are you going to do something?
I'm going to net him if you ever get him close to me.
You're just going to stand there.
Ah, just a nice...
Nice job.
You know, the 2-weight makes all the difference.
Oh, man, I tell you.
See the slash right there?
Right.
The cut through it? The fine spots.
Boy, they sure got him.
Look where Mr. Gowdy hooked him. A true pro.
Where did I hook him? Right in the lip?
Right in the corner.
Right in the mouth.
There he goes. Whoops. Got away from me there before I could show you more.
Lots of different flies now than you used 20 years ago
Well, I say.
when you fished this.
We went out with 5 flies when I was a kid. A
one?
Donnelly-like variant, an Adams, and you had a humpy, no wet fly. Well, you had a woolly worm. That was a wet fly. A great wet fly. Still a great wet fly. They call it a woolly bugger now with a little bit of a
You used to fish these muddler minnows heavy in this snake.
Yeah, well, that was, you know, that's had to be longer than that. When I was a kid, we didn't have muddler minnows.
I know, but I said 20 years ago.
Well, 20 years ago, actually, we used a lot of muddlers.
Do they use as many now?
You know, they don't use as many muddlers as they used to, and that's a shame. But,
Why don't they?
well, there's been a lot of modification. You can't get good turkey quill. You know, a lot of the materials in some of those older flies you just can't get anymore.
Oh.
A good model turkey's tough.
I met the man that originated that on a bonefish flat. I was fishing with Joe Brooks.
Don Gapin?
Don Gapin.
Yeah.
And we're having a sandwich, and we stopped, and Joe says, Curt, did you ever hear of the muddler minnow? This must have been 1950. And I said, yeah, I've heard about that fly. And he said, this is the man that originated it.
Right up there, right up on the scene.
And he said he ties it with wolf's hair.
Too bad he couldn't get that one patented, huh?
Wow, that would have been a winner.
Yeah.
I hate to see that patenting going on, though.
Yeah.
You know, because almost every idea is a combination of a bunch of people's thoughts.
Right.
And ideas. I don't think you can really, truly invent a fly these days.
It may even be copied anyway.
That's right.
We'll be back with Curt Gowdy and Jack Dennis after this.
How do these fish compare with fish you caught 20 years ago when you did your show together?
Not as big, Larry. I remember coming over here when I was about 10 to Jackson. It was a boardwalk town. And going out fishing, my vivid memory was you couldn't get some of the fish in the creel, the tails hung over.
Oh?
5, 6 pounders. I know there's some browns in all these Wyoming waters that are still big, but there doesn't seem to be as many big ones.
Well, that's a good trout there.
Well, he's fair.
Well, that's an average size fish, you know. You can get this is a nice...
How big do you get now, Jack?
Oh, we still get the bigger fish like what Curt's talking about. We just don't get as many. We get probably, in many cases, a lot more of these.
That's what I'm saying. There's just not as many big ones, it doesn't seem. I
But
get more pressure.
There's reasons for that.
Sure.
You know, the pressure, but really the river has changed. The minimum flows on the dam, we've had droughts. It's just going to take some time to build them back up, and we're working hard on that.
They're pretty.
Look at that. Beautiful fish. Just a nice fish to start people fly fishing with.
You bet.
Okay.
Oh, way to go, Curt.
You know, we're right in the middle of Teton National Park. The Snake River comes out of Jackson Lake, and then flows down through the middle of the valley, actually like a snake. That's where it gets its name. There really isn't any snakes out on the bank. But it drops about 30 feet a mile and heads to the lower part of the valley and out of the park and into what they call the Snake River Canyon. But it's each part of the river changes. It's a different look to it, different appearance.
Well, this is sure a beautiful spot right here.
Well, here you can see it's...
Where do you get a prettier sight than the Tetons right in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, boys. It's fish catching time.
I think you're right.
Next shot.
Hey, yo!
All right, there we go.
Nice trout.
Yeah, that brown color. You can always tell when they're a little bit better fish.
Oh, boy.
All right, on the surface
I
there.
like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
You like it?
He just came
Nice
up and
blood.
took that pretty as you please.
Just that.
Yeah, I can see him
Isn't
coming.
that nice?
Oh,
Okay, well,
He's
again.
a courageous cut.
boy, they battle, don't they?
Yeah, they are.
Get another one, Curt. I think I got him under control here.
That's a good spot in here. Nice, flat, deep water area.
Some cuts don't jump much, but these jump pretty well. Jack.
Yeah, well, it just depends on each fish.
Funny, they always go for the shadows under the boat.
They feel safer.
There he comes,
There we
Jack.
All right, nice job.
Hey.
Good boy, good
boy.
boy.
That is a pretty fish.
Yeah.
Got that golden hue
Yeah,
you were
now
talking
you're starting
about.
to see what they call the yellow belly. See the yellow?
Lots of spots on him.
Show Larry that slash under his throat. Looks like somebody came along and cut these fish right in the throat, doesn't it?
Right.
That red slash is pretty, though, on him.
Well, all our trips are catch and release on this river. There we go.
Good luck, guy.
Let's go fishing. Oh, they bend these two-line rods, don't they?
Larry, look at
Looks
that.
like you're having fun. Isn't that pretty?
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
The Tetons, the pines, the moose,
Now he's
the
trying
elk,
to get back up
and
in
the
there.
cutthroat trout.
Looks like you're getting him a little tired, though, Curt.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna get down below him, Curt.
Yeah.
Work him back up to you.
I got a 2-weight rod and a 5X tippet, Larry. Now that's going fine, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
This fish is probably, I would say, 13, 15 inches, and it feels like you got a 3 or 4 pounder on him.
Lean him over here so you can get him in the shallows.
They sure fight well.
They do. They say the cutthroats don't fight well, but I found them very perky in here, haven't you?
There we go.
Yeah, he keeps digging deep on me.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping him from going downstream
There he
on
is.
you.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to get him up.
Over this way.
There's sure a lot of strains of these cutthroat trout. A lot of
I'm
them.
gonna hold him right there for you, Jack.
Don't
Marked
hold him
so
back too long.
differently.
Just barely in there. Just barely in. Up. There we go. There's a
beautiful
little
trout,
bit better
Curt.
fish.
Pretty
Yep.
trout, isn't it?
Very beautiful trout.
Taking on the
And
double
I'm going to
humpy.
tell you, I call that a pretty trout on this light outfit. That's a beautiful trout.
Hard to beat, huh? They're in good shape, aren't they?
Whoops.
There he goes. Well, that's great.
Well, that's all right. Look at him. He's fine. He's loaded with ginger.
You know, it's sure been enjoyable back doing this float after 20 years.
It really is, Jack.
And Larry, it's been a few months since we were in New Zealand.
What
I
happened?
appreciate you inviting me over here.
What happened to the 20 years, Jack?
What happened? They just flew by.
They floated by, huh?
They floated by.
Thank goodness.
Well, I hope to see both you guys again.
Well, thanks for inviting us. Good fishing with both of you.
Yeah, same here, Larry.
Well, you never know where we might find each other again.
Join us again next week for more Fishing the West. Travel arrangements provided by United Airlines. United flies to all 50 states and many other worldwide fishing and vacation destinations.